Welcome back to Stationeers, and it's time to try some hydroponics, or at least, well, it depends how much carbon dioxide I've got. I haven't really been saving it all that much, so we'll see anyway, and we need to get things going. So I built this new building. It's quite nice, single height, but we've got an inside dimensions of 5x3, so 15 space, but probably just 2 rows of 5, at least to start us off. And we've got these really nice composite walls. Well, the windows, but it's the composite wall kit, and you scroll wheel through to get windows. Just takes iron and glass once you've constructed them, and yeah, this should be pretty nice. We got some sunlight in here at least. Not that I know that whether the plants need sunlight or not, but I thought I'd give it a go. So we're going to put some heaters on the walls. I think probably on this side of things. We're going to want to keep this fairly hot. I'd say, you know, somewhere above 30 degrees. I don't think we're going to need cooling, to be honest, because as long as it's about 30 degrees, the intake, and this is the sort of atmospheric side of things, the intake and the exhaust from this is the intake, that's the exhaust, does go outside, so I'm just wondering if that's going to be a cooling effect. We'll give it a go anyway, and if we need to make some adjustments to add some cooling, we can do, just like we did downstairs. I think I need some glass sheets, and I thought I'd left some around somewhere, but maybe not. I guess not. Okay, so I'll need to go and make some of those. Let me just briefly explain what we've got. So all the way over here, we've got a T-junction on our CO2 line. It's coming down here. It goes underneath this, across here, up here, and I've got a couple of valves, just a kind of shut-off valve to make sure that none of it escapes into here. And that's why I'm low on CO2. I forgot to put the valve in, and it just sort of gassed its way out into the wonderful vacuum. So I'm going to have to breathe out a whole bunch to get more, or at least burn something in the furnace or something along those lines. Anyway, up here we've got a filtration unit, and that has an oxygen filter. The oxygen filter will be the waste, which will come out to here. There's nothing in it at the moment, of course, since it's not been running. And on the other side of that is a pipe coming out with another valve, just to give me some kind of controls. And that comes out to another passive vent. So we should have the filtration unit naturally circulating, well, not air, but CO2, and removing the O2 that the plants generate. What I don't know is if the plants need anything else other than CO2. I assume, you know, we can just start with CO2, and we can start maybe 5, 6, 10 kPa, something along those lines, if we got enough CO2, and see where we go. So I can probably seal this one in, and we need to complete the airlock first. So, do I have my... I think I had some... Yeah, there we go. Got some cable coils. Put in an APC. Not that airlocks need them anymore. They did fix the issue whereby this was losing track of the doors. But even so, it's nice that if we have anything in here, they'll only be able to look at the hydroponics section. And that'll be useful for the future on it. So, yeah, we can just put those in like that and flip it around and do them like on this side as well. And this of course will be a CO2 to vacuum airlock, so we need to sort some things out. First of all, I guess we got to come from over here. There's blockages everywhere because of all this, so let's just bring some straight cable through and then just hook everything up to power. And we got to turn, I think, there. Back to junctions again. I think it's on the bottom. It's on the bottom. Got it the right way up this time, which would make a change. And probably that actually needs to be a 6-way, I think. I don't think a 4-way would do the job. I don't think that it'd be nice if it'd be nice if there was a better block than that, but I'll take it. I'll take it. And we'll go for a corner again. Some straight sections, and then I think we'll all be hooked up once I get a straight section that is going vertical. Oops, one there. And a gas sensor. Okay, so we've got this vent. We don't have anything for it to vent to at the moment, so we could have an entirely. In fact, it probably is better to have an entirely independent system to the filtration. Just for lack of complexity, we can deal with that. Of course, the problem with this is the same as the main one, and it's going to just not really like the fact we can't pressurize to 101. So we'll still have to hit the override button. But that's no big deal. Let's go and see if I can find a glass. Ooh, glass. Is that glass sheets? It is glass sheets. We can complete you. All right. And I need to just grab the crowbar this open, flip the power on, and the doors have power. Okay, we're going to need my data disk because we're going to need to configure the airlock, and we need to close it up, which means I'm going to need more iron sheets. I need more than that. I think I've got my iron in here at the moment, have I? I do. 151 iron. Pretty good, but solder. And we want some iron sheets, so let's just put them in the auto lathe for now. Yep, let's get some iron sheets. That won't take very long at all. In fact, I probably want to put away this cable coil. That should do for now. Let's get you all welded up, at least to a semblance of an airlock. There we go, and yeah, I think we can weld both of these up. Okay, are we capable of a seal? I think we are. Let's turn off the welder. And I'm going to flip on the airlock. Yes, it's going to get an error, so I didn't grab my data disk. It's right here anyway. Got it in this cupboard. Right there. And I should probably rename things, but it shouldn't matter too much. And of course, we've got the usual things. So we want the airlock exterior. I actually got it right the first time. That is the exterior door, and then we want the interior door, the vent and the sensor. That's enough to configure an airlock. Let's put that back away in my uniform. And then we can cycle to interior. It's going to try and pressurize, of course, which it can do. And then is... well, it's not quite sealed in here. Let's just seal this last thing. Do I actually want it sealed just yet? Yeah, we can run the power over the top. Okay, so we've now got a sealed space at 0 kPa, and we want it to be more than 0 kPa. So I'm going to need to take these walls out just to run a power connector for these. And the power and the data is on the top, the way they're currently configured. And I'm out of cable coil, so let me go and wire those up as well. And I think let's see, what else do we actually need to do to get this going? We need some CO2 and seal that wall down there. Actually, I do have enough to seal that wall. Which is probably the last before I need to grab more iron sheets. Let's seal you up. Okay, sealed. That should be enough. And of course, we've got the cable here. We're going to run the cable on this side as well to the filtration unit. And from here, maybe even... yeah, we can just go through this wall. I know I've just sealed it up, but there's no harm right now. We can go through this wall here. And then down there. And just run along the top, I think. So I'll get to doing that. We won't do it on camera, of course. I'll come back once we're done. Okay, now while we could hook up this water system all the way over, and that's one possibility for the moment, I'm just going to keep them in separate tanks. I want to keep, ideally, this entire environment separate, just so I can assess what's going on with regard to things over time. We'll be able to see, you know, the output of our plants in oxygen, and we'll be able to see the drain on this tank via, you know, water, and then CO2, we'll have to see what pressure, you know, we get. We're going to have to supply CO2 from our main system. And the main thing is my breathing out of CO2 and the plant's breathing in of CO2 going to be fairly balanced once it gets set up, or are we going to need some external CO2 via, you know, furnace melting? And is that water? That is water. Interesting. Don't know how that got there without going into the system. Very odd. Maybe it was just when I took some water ice out and dumped it into the top, I wasn't quite fast enough. And it's now just glomming just around that one block. And I'm quite sure why just that one block, but never mind anyway. Let's just take this. We don't need steel sheets actually. Did I want something in here? I thought I did. Never mind. What was I doing? Okay, so in here we need to take out a wall for a second and decide where we want to put our. Let's grab those iron sheets. I want to put our tank connector. I think I'm going to put it through here. Someone did mention in the comments that you can cross straight cable with straight pipes, so that would be handy if so. And let's put you back, backwards facing like that. Yeah, looks about right. And how many pipes do I have left? Construction kit, okay. And what I also probably want to do in here is have a regulator, and we'll put the regulator on the inside just to make sure it can be accessible. We may obviously want to make sure there's a certain pressure of water in here, so thought we'd give that a go. We can of course do volume as well. Well, let's see, where's the thing? It's going to be right about there, so let's do that and grab some pipe work. And we'll just bring the pipework straight through. Hopefully that will connect just fine, but we'll see very shortly if we can go straight through. Yeah, we can. Okay. And obviously on the inside, this is where we want to put some hydroponics bays. So we're going to need a bit of power for this, but I think it's on that side. So I'm going to got one cable coil left. Let me make a couple more cable coils. See, we haven't moved the copper around. Nope, we've still got some cable coil going, so only a few will be enough. We don't need very many at all. That should be enough. Just enough for a three-way corner there on that corner of this. I think. Oh, actually, even a junction should do. Let's just grab everything here. Grab the cutters. Yeah, it's a corner at the moment. Let's change that into a junction. And then we just will use a corner. There we go. Will you be on? Yeah, you will. That's fine. And well, I don't think we're going to need much pressure, to be honest. So I'm just going to leave it on default. Just a small amount. We just want to make sure that stuff pumps that way and we have control of the pressure. We can then, I guess, unscrew this from the tank connector on this side. Pick it up and put it over here. Now we should be able to connect it back down again. There we go. And I'm out of blue paint. I need to make some more blue paint for that tank connector and the cables in there, but that's okay. That's okay. This is going to be reconnected, and it should gain some pressure. There it goes. It's getting pressure from whatever's in the pipe coming from the filtration system. So that is just fine. And of course, we're going to get pressure on this side. Yeah, 1363. Of course, it was higher, but of course some of that pressure is going to be forced by the pipe. 2109. Okay, so that should be okay. We've now got water going through, we've got electricity, the wall heaters can turn on. Good, good, good. And I guess I can seal the walls back in. Let's just grab you and my welding torch. Helps if I put it in the right hand. There we go. I think we're all sealed. Everything okay on the outside? Yeah. Let's turn on the filtration. Not that it's got any gas in there at the moment. Let's check this end. Everything looks okay. Oh, by the way, there was a couple of fixes that's worthwhile mentioning. One is that if your base had these kind of things, the walls where they stick into the cubic volume, if you like, that these are outward, but if you had ones that were inward, there was a bug that caused leaks in your base. So if you have leaks, take off all the walls like this, or the ones I just showed you, or this, that are sticking into the volume where the gas is. Remove them, replace them. all of them, including the gratings. You don't need to take out the frames. The frames are fine. Just the walls. It was causing an incorrect calculation. The bug's fixed for anything new, but for anything old that you still want to fix, feel free to do that. Yeah, so just a quick mention. There was another couple of, which before I complete this, there was a couple of another blocks actually created. There's now a logic dial, which is going to be useful, maybe as a thermostat control. Let's just see if it's in here. We've got logic switch, of course, but the new logic dial should be in here as well. And that might be useful to take a look if it's in here. Maybe it's on the actual logic switch and you can just... what do we need? Gold and copper. We just need gold. Maybe it's an alternate sort of construction of the switch. If not, I'll have to find where it is. It takes far too long to make a switch. That should really be faster, I would have thought. But it's nearly done. And done. Do you give me any kind of alternate construction? Yeah, there we go. We can make a dial. So we can sort of turn the heat up or down, I guess, with a dial. Let's just construct it. That looks pretty good. Dial increase or decrease. Although, I'm not quite sure why there is a increase and decrease both there and there, but you know, I'll take it. That looks kind of cool. And maybe we control the thermostats in there with that once I've confirmed everything. So let me just grab you, put it back in, and are we done? I think we're done. What was I grabbing? Was it cable coil? I forgot something. Remind me, what did I forget? I was talking about leaks. No? Okay, I'm fine. Let's actually assume that we're okay. I haven't got any kind of evacuation system in here, so once this is actually active, I don't have any way to get the gas back out into a tank or anything. I'll need to construct one of those if I need to do that, but let's just undo these. So any CO2 that is in the system can go in. And yeah, the filtration system's on. The airlock's on. I know what I was going to do. I was going to grab in the organic supplies, wheat, corn, fern, wheat, fertilized eggs, soybean cereal bars. Where's the... I thought it gave you some hydroponics bays to start with. If not, then we can actually make them. But I thought we gave you some to start with. Maybe not. Let me go and make some. So the easiest and fastest way to find this is just to go to your fabricator and make them from there. I did make one it's in my inventory, I think. No? I'm sure I almost made one. Oh, there it is. Haha. So, do they stack? Yeah, they do. So, this is going to make a couple more. We'll have 4 on our first row, and then we'll see where we need to go to after that. Let's pop you down. The other things I was thinking of making is... Oh, wow. We don't even need to put a locker in there, I guess. Some people were saying that their plants had disappeared, and anything in that particular area, you know, the portable crate thing that you get, they disappeared. Haven't had that happen to myself, but if you do see that, then yeah, I'm not sure what you can actually do to get it back, to be honest. It is sort of annoying if that's the case. I guess we can drag the organic supplies into here, although the fertilized eggs are going to be chickens, and we don't want to put them in a CO2 rich environment, really. Let's just pop you down and take that back off the wall. Is it spanner? No. Is it drill? Drill. Okay, we'll set that for later. And cycle, please. I do like airlocks. Although if you don't want the automatic version like this, you can just manually do it. Just don't hook up a console. Just step in, close this door manually, hit the active switch, evacuate it, or, you know, pressurize whichever one you want, and then open the inner door. That's no real problems. Okay, so can we just connect this straight up? It looks like we can. That's pretty good. I don't think there's any specific direction, so I guess we can just put 4 here like this. Meh. Okay. That's hooked up for water, but I guess we need to let that water through, so we may as well turn this on. And do I have my Atmos analyzer in here? H2O, 10 moles at 50 kPa. Temperature is minus 21. You'd expect that... I guess it's low pressure, but, Yeah, you'd expect that to... Oh, we got CO2. That's the world. Okay. So we're getting O2 and CO2, but not very much CO2. But we're at 30 degrees in here without any of the wall heaters on. That is interesting. What's generating the heat? It's got to be the sunlight, maybe. We can see if it goes colder at night before we actually put any plants in. I'm going to do that, and let's just see what happens to the temperature in here. I guess I put the wrong type of filter in there. It should be CO2, not oxygen. Don't need the oxygen filter. Yeah, so I was filtering all the CO2 outside and all the oxygen on the inside. So let's just grab this canister and let's just go and release it a few times on the inside. We have, however, got higher temperatures, so we may well need to add a cooling system to probably to the filtration, which shouldn't be too hard because it's actually, there's a fairly long pipe here, so we can see it's 44 degrees at the moment. Let's just actually release this into the air. See, its temperature's gone down, but depending on whether the sun's actually going to affect things, it depends how well that does. So let's just pick that up. Yeah, it's back down to almost nothing. And every time I think you pick it up, it's going to do that. So let's just take a look at the atmosphere now. We are at 0.2 moles of CO2, and it is now filtering out the O2, which is very, 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 very small by comparison. However, let's see the pressure. Is it maintaining? 33, 44 at this end. I just need to watch it just to make sure it equalizes and make sure that we're not losing anything other than that tiny amount of oxygen. I'll keep my eye on it. Yeah, I think we're going to need a cooling loop. It's 450 degrees in here. This is just bringing in the output from the furnace once it's cooled down through our existing filtration system. The temperature is sort of... Is it actually dropping? No, it's... where's the input? Input's going to be over here, so is it dropping near here? Oh, it is. It is. But I think we should actually, just for safety, put a cooler in up there. Okay, so I've added a bit of a cooling loop here. We've got an air conditioner, which is the alternative construction to this filtration unit. And if we go around the front, you'll see, whoops, around the front, you get a control panel and you can set it to whatever you like. So no need for electronics in this case. It should be just temperature controlled. We can set that to 30 degrees, let's say. We can even set it to 40. Can I go up? Yeah, let's say 35, shall we? Okay, and it's on already. It's running. And let's just briefly explain. Here's our input. That's the airlock one. Don't worry about that. That's the input. So it's going to come in here. This is the input to filtration. Filtration is going to go through. Let's just grab the... it may not actually show up because it's pumping things. Yeah, so it's going to come out of the filtration unit into this pipe network where you can see it's 211 degrees at the moment. It's cooling because what's happening is going into the air filter... the air conditioner. The air conditioner's output is going to be colder than its input. Or should be 214. Okay, it's warmer. What? Oh, that's why. Yeah, because the waste heat from the air conditioner, which is going to come out here, is going through a pipe network that has radiators on it. That's going to cool some of it and feed it back into the start. So all the waste heat is getting lost at the moment from that, and is going to come back through cooler. But both sides are falling, and it should naturally fall until we're closer to 30 degrees. All the waste heat, of course, is being dumped into space by the radiators. So let's just go and quickly head inside, and let's see if that's enough. Let's get you. It's not going to want to pressurize too much at the moment. So let's just stop that. Okay, so in here, I've got this just evacuation system. Is it empty? It is empty. Let's turn you off. Okay, just in case I need to depressurize in here, I've got a mechanism to do so. So we're now at 203 degrees and falling at 4 kPa. I'm not sure how much plants are going to need, but I guess we can always burn more in the furnace. That's how I've largely been getting all of this CO2 as it is. If we just head outside, I think we may be out of CO2. Let's go and quickly check the other canisters. It's working just fine. Let's just check this canister in here. CO2, it doesn't have a canister, but we can see from here. Do you have any CO2? No, you don't. It's completely empty. Good. Okay, so all our CO2 is in use in there, and it should be getting cooled down. So I guess we can then maybe plant some crops. I think I'm going to take a save and then wait for this to cool down a little bit. Let's see if we can plant anything. I'm not sure if they're going to give us an indication of when they're going to grow or not, but I think we've got everything hooked up now, so we may as well. So here you can see our furnace, and excuse me if you hear the fireworks. That time of night, unfortunately, around here. We have 25 moles of CO2 in there. Of course, the temperature is dropping quite nicely. We've got 5 moles of H2, but that's not really what we're interested in at the moment. We were just interested in CO2. So that will do me just fine. We're not going to get any more CO2 out of that, so I can just click this back to off again and take this for refilling. I guess we may as well go and have a look at see how well this will refill. And of course, we can always get more gases from the furnace if we need to. There we go. Out we pop and over to the refill station. So we want oxygen and hydrogen. Is it that way around? Yes, it is. Good. You're going to be on all the time, so you're going to be filling up hopefully soon. It's always going to be the hydrogen that we're going to end up out of, so that's no real problem. Yeah, enough for another go through the furnace, maybe. And yeah, I'll see you once things have cooled off. And it's sunrise, a good time to test our plants. Looks like they do need sunlight after all, and wall lights won't work, which is annoying. I really would like a completely underground one eventually, but never mind. I've disconnected this just so that this can act as a gas storage, which will then radiate to space rather than recirculating. Works much faster, and we can get that going. I do actually need the plants, so let's just grab, let's just dump a few things, make sure I've got those. These, so let's just grab you, and hopefully you. Okay, there we go, got everything. I've turned off the airlock because I was seeing some weird issues again with the airlock, so instead I'm going to close the outer door and open the inner door, and then I can just only need to evacuate when I go outwards. Let me just see what our pressure is like. 7, close enough to 7. Okay, let's see if you will now work. Let's just drop you for a second. We've got some sunlight over there. All right, corn. It's working and growing. Good. Now let's just plant the fern. Not sure what we're going to use ferns for, but yeah, let's give that a go. All right, so all of them look to be growing. Yay, that's good. This takes an awful lot of work to get going, but it is actually working. Okay, I'm quite pleased with that. However, I am concerned with this pressure. 6.8 does not leave me a lot of leeway. If that goes below 6, and I've tried it, these plants won't grow. They go wilted, and eventually they will just die. There is like a sort of progress bar you'll see going down, and there's not much you can do at that point. The progress bar can't be saved, you can't get the seed back. It's not great, but above 6 it seems to be fine. It's higher pressure at this end of the room, I suppose, but I think I'm going to burn more furnace fuel. And once these are finished growing, they say clear at the moment. I'm not sure how many days they take to finish growing, but I'm just going to stay out of this room and come back in a few days, and we'll see whether we got some crops. That may be the next episode, maybe the one after, depends what I'm actually doing. However, yeah, we've got plants, and hopefully you've liked this episode. We have got everything working now. It is all nice and good. So if you've liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share if you haven't already. Hopefully it's been helpful to at least some of you. And yeah, we'll see you next time if you'd like to join us. Thanks for watching.